Hello everyone, my name is Devashish Roy. I'm the head of training and development at the Indian Cybersecurity Solutions, and I welcome you all to a special webinar today. And today's topic is a very important one, that is the Amazon RDS security. So we'll be talking about the relational database system, that is the RDS database of the Amazon, and how to strengthen your cloud database defense. What are the attacks that may be initiated against your database, and how to prevent those. So let's begin. So we'll be talking about the Amazon RDS security and what are the best practices and strategies against this. And we'll explore essential practices and strategies to secure Amazon RDS environments. So what is Amazon RDS? Is a relational database security, so where we store the databases. And RDS security encompasses the measures and best practices to protect relational databases in the cloud. So if you're having a lot of database systems, say you are having some database tables, so you have to keep your organization data. So you have to keep, say, your reservation system data, your employee data. So you have to keep it inside the RDS. So it is crucial to safeguard against the different attacks that may be initiated against the RDS. And you have to ensure that compliance with regulations are met and maintaining the integrity and availability of all the database systems. So you have to understand the Amazon RDS architecture. So what is that? Amazon RDS is designed with a multi-layered architecture so that it enhances database security. So it integrates several components, including automated backups. So you can also back up your database at regular intervals. Also replication. Replication means that you are having different database servers. Even if it is virtualized also, then also you have to do some replication from, say, the primary to the secondary. And patch management, like the OS releases its patches, so that the updates, patch means the updates are released, so you have to release the updates and you have to incorporate patches also in the database, which collectively play a crucial role in maintaining the data integrity and protecting against the unauthorized access to a database. Then what are the key security features of Amazon RDS? First is automated backups ensure data recovery. Then encryption, it protects the sensitive data. So you have to protect the data of the RDS. Security groups manage the access rules. So there are security groups who can manage, like the IAM rules you can create for the databases. And IAM rules enforce permissions and policies. So everybody should not be able to log into the database, or everybody shouldn't be able to use the database. So you have to actually enforce the permissions. Now, data encryption is very important in the Amazon RDS or any RDS. Encryption at rest means encryption at rest protects data stored in the database, and actually it ensures that data remains secure when not actively in use. So even if nobody is using the data, it should be protected, like you encrypt it with KMS, like that. This is achieved by encrypting the underlying storage and making it unreadable without proper decryption key. So there comes the concept of the private and public key, like you encrypt it with the public key and you decrypt it with the private key. Use cases include protecting sensitive information such as personal identifiable information and financial data of the company. Now, encryption in transit, there is another option. So it safeguards data as it travels between the database and the application. So when it is being passed to the application, there also you should have some security methods like protocols like TLS to ensure that data is transmitted securely over the network. And it is essential to protecting data from eavesdropping and man-in-the-middle attacks. So somebody is actually attacking you in between when you are transferring the data from a source to destination. Somebody in between is trying to intercept the data. It shouldn't be the case. So use cases include any scenario where data is exchanged over public network. So you are exchanging over public WAN. If somebody is going to attack your network, so definitely it can steal your data. So you have to safeguard against that. Now, what are the access control and user management? So you have to understand how to effectively manage user access, and it is critical for maintaining security in the Amazon RDS. Now, first of all, you have to create the user creation. You have to establish a new user account with unique credentials, means username, password, and it ensures accountability and traceability. Then role assignment. Assigning predefined roles helps in managing user privileges, or according to their responsibilities, you have to guide them to proper privilege, because you shouldn't give the every permission to every user. Then permission settings, you have to configure specific permissions, and it allows for granular control over what users can access and modify within the database. So it is like the IAM role. Then network security, you have to set up the VPC and the security groups. Now it is essential that we have to step to configure virtual public cloud, that is the VPC and security groups, and it ensures robust network security for Amazon RDS. You have to define the VPC requirements, so you can use the default VPC or you can customize VPC. So identify the necessary IP address range, subnets, and availability zones for your VPC. So you can use whatever is given or offered by the Amazon, or you can also choose your own address space. Then create VPC and subnets. To establish the VPC and allocate subnets for public and private access, you can actually differentiate. Then configure route tables, set up route tables to control the traffic flow between subnet and the internet. Then set up security groups. So you have to define security group rules to control inbound and outbound traffic for RDS instances. So you have to set up all the security groups so you can control the access. Then implement network ACL. Add network ACLs for an additional layer of security at the subnet level. So you can add the security groups, the network ACL, and the firewall rules also. Test connectivity. You have to verify the configuration by testing access to RDS instances from the allowed sources. So before you incorporate the RDS, so you have to test that. Now you have to monitor and audit the RDS for security. Ensuring the integrity and compliance of RDS databases through proactive monitoring and auditing practices are very important. First of all, initial setup. Implement monitoring tools like Amazon CloudWatch to track performance. So CloudWatch actually tracks the metrics of all the, say, the hardware and also application related things, and CloudTrail also from the outset of RDS deployment. And then regular audits, conduct regular security audits to assess compliance with organization policies, and you have to identify potential vulnerabilities. Then incident response comes. You have to establish a clear incident response procedure for security breaches, and it includes a notification, investigation, and remediation processes. Then continuous improvement. Utilize insights gathered from monitoring and audits to continuously improve security measures and modify practices as needed. So these are the types of the checks that you have to do, and backup and recovery strategies also are there. So you have the robust strategies to protect data and ensure availability. So 100% automated backups are there. You have to ensure all databases are backed up daily, because otherwise, if you do not have the database backup, then if any unforeseen event occurs, your RDS will be completely destroyed. You cannot recover it. Then say manual snapshots, capacity for extensive on-demand backups. So you have to take the snapshot, and automatic snapshot you have to take so that you cannot lose any data. Then point in time recovery, restore data to within 5 minutes of the last backup that you have to do. So these all the things you have to follow in the RDS. Now, what are the common security risk and mitigations? So SQL injection prevention techniques you have to do. So that is an attack, SQL injection, to actually say attack your SQL table. So you have to actually safeguard this, and data encryption best practices you have to follow, and security group configuration audits. So auditing is a very important part so that you can keep the logs there. So to ensure the robust security for Amazon RDS, you have to implement the following best practices, like the regularly update your database engine, then apply the principle of least privilege for IAM roles. Whatever permissions are needed, only give those. Regularly deploy the patches, then conduct regular security audits, enable MFA on the multi-factor authentication, and use encryption for sensitive data, and monitor access logs. So these are the activities that you have to follow. After you make a database, then you have to make it a secure, and to secure the database, these are the things that you have to follow. So these are the best practices for Amazon RDS security, and I can take you to the AWS dashboard now, that you can see. And this is the database. If you search for the Amazon RDS, then you'll be presented with this Aurora and RDS system. And what you can do, you can actually create the database. This is a express configuration, or you should go for the full configuration. This is recommended because it gives you a lot of variety, like the MySQL, PostgreSQL, NoSQL, MariaDB, all these databases. So click to create. Then you are presented with all the database engine options like this Aurora, MySQL, Aurora PostgreSQL, and other things, MariaDB, Oracle, like Microsoft SQL Server also. Let me choose it. And then you have the full configuration, like you have to set all the configuration options, including ones for availability, security, and backups. And also you can have the easy create. So anyway, you have to use a template, that is free tier or development template. Development template is available only for the paid accounts. Then Amazon RDS, then you have to choose the SQL server, the SQL server editions there, and the engine version. So there are different SQL server engine versions. Then you have to give a DB instance identifier, like you will have like this any name, that is your database name identifier, and the master username and password. So if you are a developer, only then you will be able to log into this database and you will work on this. But anyway, you have to give a master username admin, and you have to give a password, or you can do like auto generate password, then AWS will give you a password. Now you can say the master password is licenses and that this one, and again confirm it. And now, then the instance type, you have to choose what is the instance type. By default is t3.micro because it is free tier account, others are not available. And then the storage type, so whatever the storage type this database offers, everything you have to choose. And there you go, the virtual private cloud that I was talking about. So either you have the option to do not connect to an EC2 compute resource, this database, or you can connect it to the EC2 instance. So if you want to connect to using the EC2 instance, so this database will be attached to the instance, so that also you can do. And now let it be don't connect and default VPC, or you can use the customized VPC like this VPC that I had. So this again, subnet groups, everything you can see. And you can also use the monitoring, and also the retention period of these databases. So within this, the database will not get fully deleted. So you can do all these things, and it is showing you the estimated monthly cost also. So if you run for 750 hours Amazon RDS, and also it gives you the 20 GB of general purpose storage. So after doing all this, you have to create database. So it is actually not taking the passwords, I think. So you keep this as auto generated if you want, because it keeps a very complex password sometimes, and you have to create the database. So VPC, now it is giving me some error, I think. So in the VPC, if you use default VPC, then I think it can. So it is finally creating the database for you. So it is creating this database. And you can click on the database, and if you go there, then status is creating, and the engine is SQL server, so you can see all the informations. So once the database is created, then you have to download the, say, any application to connect to this database, because right now from here you cannot go to the database. Then you have to log into the database, and you have to, I can log in from the command mode, or you can go to any, say, you can application, the developer application, you can go and you can connect to this database. But this way you can create the database. So it will take some time before it creates a database successfully. So it is still creating. And in the meantime, you can see also the monitoring. So is the CloudWatch monitoring, it is loading, but if the database is not created, then the CloudWatch, so the metrics, it will not show. Only once the database is connected, then only the CloudWatch metrics will come, and this has come now. So the database creation is almost done, and you have to see the logs and events. That is also, you can check it out here. So it is the auditing purpose that I was telling you. So every now and then you have to check this log, and then this configuration, whatever the virtual CPU, the engine versions, everything you can see. So once the database is created, then you have to log into the database. So it is taking some time for the database creation, and sometimes it takes a longer time before it, because it depends on the users, the databases that is currently it is deploying, because it's a free tier account. It is not the paid account that it is, the database is reserved for you. And you can also set up these two connection to connect to the databases. Also you can set up the Lambda connection also. So the Lambda code, the Python code that is for the AWS, that you can also create. So this is a database, and also you can have the other options like this snapshots and the automated backups of this database. So if you want to actually take backup of the databases, then you can do it. You can have these two database options, either database one that is the Aura database, and also this is a database that is being created, so that you can do. So there are a lot of options that you can see that is actually there in the database service. And also in the replicated database, I do not have any replication, but if you are having a replicated database here, that also you can see here. And retained means that before the database is completely destroyed, it has a retention period that is you can set up, like I was already showing you. So in the retained database, you can see here. So this is about the database that you can create, and I think again it will take a while before the database creation is complete. And once it's done, then you can download the application like the SQL Server, the connection, or any other, say the application that the use for the development level, and you can connect it using the application, and you can build the tables, and you can use the database. So this RDS, although it is a part of the developer level in the AWS and the security level, but still it is a very important part in your architect level, like the solution architect associate and the solution architect professional examination. And as you know, the cloud is on the top. It is the paramount nowadays in the networking, and networking is moving towards the cloud. And security is very important for your cloud as a whole, and also databases are of no exception. So this Amazon RDS security, that is very important for your Amazon or any other cloud services. And as you know that the cloud and the AWS, it is a very good career option nowadays, and it is equivalent to the L3 engineers of the Cisco or the Juniper. So everybody should have the certification right now. And I have a very good news for you. I have made a questionnaire, and that it has a 10 question, and if you can give at least 8 correct answers, so you'll be eligible for a certificate. So just think about it. You will get a certificate, and it will be invaluable for your future. And as a very senior cloud trainer, I can personally guide you and teach you this AWS cloud certification. And definitely, I think you will be a winner in this cloud domain. And you can also incorporate your skills as a cloud engineer or a cloud developer in your organization. And also there is an offer also that if you enroll today itself, you'll get flat 10% discount in any course. So I encourage you to enroll yourselves right now so that we can begin our sessions. So this is about the Amazon RDS security that I have for you today. And it is a very important one, and more important topics to come in next days. So that is all I have for you on the Amazon RDS security for now. I thank you all for joining and watching this webinar. Once again, I'll come with some new topic next day. Till then, keep studying, and bye.